Good afternoon, everybody. I am so excited to be here today. I'm Jennifer Bagley, my amazing co-host, Chuck Staszkiewicz.
Love it. Hey, everybody.
Thank you guys for taking time to join Catalyst of the Trades. You guys, today we're very, very excited about a guest. I've interviewed him before. We've done a few webinars and podcasts and so forth in the past. We're really excited to have him back. Obviously, all of us are continuing to evolve and expand and grow, and we want to know what's up. Chuck and I just got off a podcast right before this. So we're back to back today. Sam, but we're really excited to be able to spend some time with you. I know you just got done with a huge event.
I
Tell
did.
me a little bit about what's going on in your world.
Yeah, so we did, the name of the event was Relentless, the Ultimate Sales Transformation in Boston, Massachusetts, and it was fire. It was really, really powerful. You know, I measure if an event was successful by the lives changed. And, you know, I polled the people all of the attendees several times throughout the event. It was like, hey, was this anything like any other trade event you've ever been to? Is this anything like any other sales event you've ever been to? With unanimously, the answer was, no, this is so much more. It's so much more robust. It's so much more well-rounded than anything we've ever been to. And I'm already getting messages even a week out of like just insane numbers coming back and people going back and implementing into their organizations personally and, you know, enterprise level. That is some of the coolest stories that you can hear.
I love that. That's brass tacks, right? This is not, I think the industry is bloated with motivational events that don't necessarily result in execution. So congratulations.
100%. There's an expression I heard years and years ago that I have adopted is, I don't care how high you jump at the event. I care how straight and how consistent you walk when you land after you get home. And that was one of our main drivers. In fact, I launched a couple of things there you were asking me earlier. We can talk a little bit about, but you know, let's give you the roadmap to implement once you get back. Success happens at the speed of implementation. I don't care if you only implement one thing, it'll change your business, but you have to go back and do it.
It's all about transformation, not motivation.
100%.
Right. Put the cocktail down. Grab your AI recorder.
Yeah,
and remember that if you're going, exactly, this is to get clarity, right? I think that's for anybody who's going to an event. If you're not going with an extreme high level of energy and attention and weight applied to one single focus, that is get clarity, get crystal clear so that you can focus, so that you can execute, so that you can get results. It's simple, right? Without clarity, you cannot focus. Without focus, you can't execute. You don't execute, you out.
Yep.
Yeah. You get used to extinction.
Yeah. I used to, before any training that I would send my people, we had the expectations before, and they had to come back with 5 to 10 things that they took away from the event. So, and that was every single time. We never fell away from that, because otherwise you leave it up to them, right? They're going there to make friends and party and whatever else that they might do, which is fine. That's all fun. You got to have fun too. But the expectations are you're going there to do some work.
Yeah. You know, it's funny you mentioned that. I was working with, so a couple of the other speakers at my event. Doug Wyatt was there. He was another speaker, a guy named Scott Sylvan Bell, which a good number of people know. One of the big missions that I wanted at this event is I had zero. I didn't have a bar. We had zero alcohol that we provided. It's like, we're here to work. We're here to learn. And you're not going to be able to learn if you show up hungover half the next morning.
100%.
So we were there to get stuff done, and we did. It was really cool.
I've had people ask me to do events. If I did an event, you better bring your laptop, sit down, we're going to work.
No doubt.
Yep. Absolutely.
Oh my goodness. So what were the biggest aha moments? What do you feel like? I'm sure that the event was filled with amazing content and information, but if you were to boil it down to like top biggest aha moments or tactical initiatives that people did take back, what do you feel like they were?
So we'll cover one internally and one tactically. The internal transformation, the big moment that happened, I've been wanting to train this for about 4 or 5 years at at scale like this, I did a personal growth session it was a 90-minute part of the session that really dove into giving people, one, we're going to smack you right in the face with the reality of a snapshot of where you are right now. And there's nothing wrong with that, but until you measure it, you can't manage it. And so we went through all of the different elements of life and really we workshop style and had them do the work, write this down. Where do you rate yourself in these areas? And then created an action plan for them and had them do the work to write down steps that they can take, new habits to adopt into their lives to move that needle and establish regular check-ins with it. So we're constantly moving forward, because one of the main philosophies of Close It Now is work to become someone worth buying from, work to create a business worth buying from. And when you work harder on yourself than you do on your business, your level of personal growth will attract those clients to you. And so we did that session. And then at the end of the session, we actually went through, I recorded a little while back, a guided meditation for the top sales performer. So we really sank into that moment and had a really solid visualizing what it feels like to be that top performer. You know, had them visualize their wall full of awards and wall full of trophies, and literally step into that place of, this is what it feels like. So at the end of that, it's like, okay, everybody, you already are that person worth buying from. I helped you meet that person. All you have to do now is just continue to walk in that. So that was my favorite part of the transformational side that we went through. And then on the tactical side, oh, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say that's a big deal. One of, Jazz called me and said that one of the employees had raised their hands and said, if you guys are looking for, someone to lead, or if something opens up, I just want to throw my hat in. And Jazz was like, listen, I talked to Jen 1,000 times about this. She's going to tell you, be the role you want to become today, and you'll get it. Like, walk 5 steps ahead, you'll get there faster. So just be the role you want to become right now.
Yeah. That's it. One of the biggest limiting factors is the mindset. We just don't believe that we are that person that is the closer, or that is the leader, or is the recruiter. Or anytime someone says, I'm not good at whatever the thing is, it's like, well, add the word yet behind that, and then change your mindset around it and work to be that.
I love that. You brought up a couple great things. I'm seeing a lot of people that are just going through the motions. Like, they forget why they got into business in the first place, right? And I constantly have to remind people of, what is it you want? The more descriptive, the more that you can put in there. And you talk vision boards, talk all that, but there's something to it, right? The more that you can be, I want to do this by August 13th at 6 p.m. It's going to be this much in my bank account. This is how I'm going to get it. This is the house that I'm going to buy. This is the car. My kids are going to go to this school. Like, the more descriptive and knowing exactly what you want, you're going to be able to get there faster, right? And then measuring where you're at now and where you want to go, that exact want is now you just reverse engineer. And it sounds easy when you put it that way. It is. It is that easy. If you don't know what you want, you're getting up every day and you're just going in the circle, going in the motion. But if you know, like, hey, this is what I'm going for, and the more detailed you can be, better off you are. I love that, Sam.
Yeah, it goes back to the clarity, like Jennifer was talking about at the beginning. You have to be crystal clear on where you're headed, or any road will get you there.
I mean, half, if not more, the majority of the planet is walking around like chickens with their heads cut off, wearing a kaleidoscope, because we're sitting with these blinders on, right? You can only see as far as you can see.
Yeah.
I mean, that transformation it takes to be able to self-assess, to be consciously aware, right? That you don't know, and you don't even know what you don't know. And that's how tight of a blinder set we have on, right? We think that the world is as it is. No, the world is as you see it. So if you're wearing kaleidoscope and you have blind spots everywhere, right? I mean, ideally, everyone tries, ideally, we get to a point where we're consciously and intentionally positioning ourselves to be able to change our mind when presented with new information and uncover the blind spots we don't even know are there. And I'm glad you're focusing on that, because if we don't get down to that, right, it's just rocking chair syndrome, always moving, never going anywhere.
In the microwave era, where everybody wants to put something in the microwave, hit 30 seconds, and it be done. The consistency is not there, right? Like, everybody thinks it's going to be that fast. You don't go to the gym 2 times to become buff.
I'm busy being busy. Let me be.
Yeah, no joke. It's that's the consistency. Persistent, consistent, disciplined action across time will compound into something incredible.
Yeah.
And the problem is we get back and then life happens and we're in our businesses and we have fires to put out. So it's being conscious of that. There's an expression I heard a good while back. It says a problem half defined, or a problem well defined is half solved. And so getting the clarity around what the issue is first, instead of just trying to listen to we'll use the word, all the gurus on social media and all the things, and then attempt something for a week and a half. Oh, it didn't work. Well, let's try something else for another week. Oh, that didn't work. And so you have this like the kaleidoscope effect is happening, and there's no consistency with anything. There's not even enough data set to know if it worked or not.
100%.
It didn't happen immediately.
Quit quitting.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%. This is a great segue, actually. The tactical side of things that I launched. This is you guys get to be the first platform to even get to talk about this. So we've heard that the fortune's in the follow-up. We've always known this. Everybody in the history of ever, other than a couple that say there's no such thing as if you leave the house that you get to sell, and I'm here to call BS on that. Because every other industry on the planet, that's where most of the revenue happens, is in the follow-up. Yep. Yes, we were going to be one-sit closers. Yes, we're going to sell like at the highest level. We're going to serve. We're going to have integrity. But everybody knows we should follow it, but nobody ever does it. I think a big part of that is because nobody ever had a plan. Nobody ever had a structure to follow. So in this month, I created a full 12 plus touch follow-up system sorted by 4 different buyer types, separated by the psychology of what happens in a buyer's mind from day 0 to day 3, with complete messaging in 4 different modalities: text message, voicemail, video message, and email. And every single touch point along the way, from day 0 to day 3, day 4 to day 7, day 7 to day 14, day 14 to day 21, sorted by what's happening in the psychology and how we should message it, built out 90 days plus, and complete with an entire training manual, CRM tags, every bit of this. So I launched that at the event as well. So now no one has the excuse to not follow up. And so I said, let's just give people a path to do it.
And hold them accountable.
I had one of the speakers at the event, a guy named Doug C. Brown. He's worked with everybody from Intuit to NASCAR to all of these insane companies. He was director of sales for one of Tony Robbins' companies for 7 years. And his session was, he will die on this hill. The second that a company implements, or a person implements, a robust follow-up process, their revenue will increase 20 to 30% every single time. And he's proven it out in hundreds of examples. So I was like, well, let's do this in the trades. And so I built the system. So now it's available.
So let me just break down the math for that real quick. So what he means by that is, when you're looking at ROAS data, if you generate 100 leads, and out of those 100 leads, you've got a 50% booking rate. And out of that 50% booking rate, you've got a 70% pitch rate. A proposal gets out there. Those are your open proposals.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And if you're just moving on to the next 100 leads that's coming in and leaving those open, right? That's with no follow-up system. Let's say that your ROAS let's say that your closing rate is 10%. with no follow-up, requiring your customer to initiate action. So it's 10%, right? If all you do, so if I have a $3 million company and that's my process right now, and I've got 50, or let's say I have a 30% booking rate and a 50% closing rate. If the only thing you do is add 10% to your booking rate, because now you make sure 100% of your calls get answered 24/7, and add another 30% to your booking rate or your closing rate, because you have a systemic follow-up program that takes action with customers, a system. That's another $3 million. That's $6 million. So your ROAS goes from 20x, I'm getting $20 on the leads that I generated. We're doubling it.
Right?
And
it's work that we already did with leads we already paid for. With what was already generated.
You get extra money. You get to pick your yield, right? Imagine going and saying to your Robinhood account, instead of getting 10x, I want to get 20x. Can you do that for me real quick? Right? Turn it up. You can do that. Just optimize processes and systems and then hold people accountable.
I'm going to add to that too. Guys, I found this out firsthand because I was very good at follow-up. And I would ask people, why did you choose me? And they told me that because of your follow-up, if you treated me that way in the follow-up process, I knew if I was going to have a problem with the job, you were going to be there. So that's number one. Number two was I started to think about that. And then I said, let me look at this missed revenue opportunities in my CRM, right? And it said something like 2.4 million a year. Exactly what you were just talking about, Jen. I said, okay, how am I going to capture that? Well, I put it in an outbound department. At first, it took some time, but within that first year, we actually captured $2.6 million. Now, there was still missed revenue, but I didn't capture it 100%. But I captured exactly what I was looking at, plus some. So, I mean, if you're not following up, let's face it, the cost per lead nowadays is crazy. Unless you're working with Jen and you got your cost per lead way down. But for most people, that's not the case, right?
Sure.
You know,
buying leads.
Yeah, you're buying leads, $300 to $600 a lead. You cannot just leave them an estimate and not follow up.
100%.
You can't. There's no way. And what do they say? The average person can only say no 7 times. So if, with your process, you take out 5 of those plus the in-person, and then set hey, I'll come back and meet you again. Like, I'm all about closing in person. Like, I will set up, like, you need to think about it. You need to talk to your husband. You need to take the dog for a walk. What time are you going to be back? I'll be back here at 9:00 tonight.
100%.
Right? You know, but that it's sometimes that can't happen. So set the expectations of when we're gonna have this follow-up conversation. Like, before you leave that house, when are we gonna do this? If you can't get to that system is gonna be amazing.
That's it. You got a BAM fam. Book a meeting from a meeting. I have a fun story along those exact same lines. I have a story. This was about 2016, 2017, back when I was still in the field as a rep in the field here in Austin. I had a homeowner that I went out, did a proposal for, did the full on sales call, scheduled the next. They were not closing in the house. They weren't ready. So had to move some money around. All of the excuses, the things that, and this was a situation they legitimately were preparing for the future. It happens. And so we set up the next meeting. I talked to them either through voice or text every single month for 9 months. 9 months straight. And I could show, if I had my old phone, of course the company phone went back when I quit that organization. But I wish I had saved that text thread, because I could show you ghosted. And then all of a sudden, 9 months later, I get this text. Hey, Sam, get back over here. We're ready. I go over to the house. They hand me this $52,000 check. And so here's the power of the story, though. The wife hands me the check. I grab it, and she holds on to it and stares me dead in the eyes and says, we were not going to choose you. We were not going to choose your company. We like the other company better, and we like the other person better. but you're the only person that stayed in touch after the first month. So we knew right away that was how, if this is how you operate, this is how the company would take care of us. And then she let go of the check. And I was like, this clearly.
You know what you did? You followed a real estate business model. And if that's that's the entire real estate industry, that's what it is. It's a constant follow-up for what could be 30 years.
Yeah. Stay in touch forever.
If you go, you talk to any plumber, HVAC contractor, electrical tradesperson, right? They're going to be like, there's no way I'm going to get a close 9 months later. BS. Big BS, like you said, Sam, right?
I will tell you, I love this conversation because my team, every single, anybody that's been in the field for a little bit, I mean, the last 3 years of being in the field, I tracked it. I had between $200,000 and $300,000 in revenue every single year from people that called me back that I had stayed in touch with, not from the previous year, from previous years.
Yep.
Like 2-3 years before, and tracked it every single year, 200 to 300K in revenue. Every single one of us as individuals had that. We were adding over 7 figures to the bottom line of the company from people we saw previous years. So I will absolutely hold this line that there is fortune in the follow-up.
If you don't tell me that you got the job done, and I'm going to ask by who, because that's who I am, right? But if you don't tell me you got the job done or to leave you alone, I'm calling you.
Well, and here's the fun ninja trick for everybody listening. Some of my favorite calls are to people that I know that they got it done by someone else. And I call the other company. I happy call for the other company. Were you taken care of? Did they handle everything that you needed? And I can't tell you the number of, I remember when we were talking that, say this is, right here in Austin, we get cedar fever in the spring. I remember that was a big deal for you. What did they do for you to help out with that? Oh, they didn't. Oh, well, do you want to revisit that? The number of companies, I would go back to brand spanking new systems someone else installed and sell our, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 IAQ bundle and a club membership on top of that brand new system somebody else installed, and took that client back, and then they were our club member from then on.
I mean, that's a golden nugget. Mark this minute on the podcast, because that is a golden nugget for everybody listening.
We weren't calling to sell. I was just calling to make sure they were taken care of. Yeah. And if you're not, I'm here to help. If you are, awesome.
I was paying attention, but I also just texted our divisional leader over our growth team and told him to book you for sales and follow-up training with our team. So you'll get that message.
Yay, perfect.
I mean, how many can you go back, Jen, and say 2-3 months after they sign with someone else, are you happy? Right? Like, I mean, that's going to be incredible, just.
Well, and we've, because of our position, we're just trying to keep up with the referrals that we get. I think that we've gotten arrogant, and like, I'm preaching to the choir. I'm literally self-assessing as you're talking. I'm having some kind of emotional moment with myself, because our calendars, we don't have a huge sales team. There's 3 people in a $15 million company. We have 3.
You haven't hired me yet.
I don't have to market, and I don't have to advertise. We're past all of those phases. It's just 100% referral, and everybody's calendars are booked. So we have one meeting. This is how bad we are. Being open and honest. We have one meeting that's all educational, not salesy at all. At the end of that meeting, they learn a ton, and then if they are interested, then they will ask us to work with us. And if not, we just end the call, and it was a training call, and we don't do anything after that. Nothing. Oh, that's
you bring up a great point there, and I see this, and I've seen this in my own business. And Sam,
I'm vibrating here. I'm about to fall out of my chair, Jennifer.
Yeah.
Oh, and it's over. If you open up our database of those, there's 15,000 companies in there.
Well,
your company would double if we rolled out anything like this.
Yeah.
I'll be the guinea pig. We can record it and use it as content.
Case study. Here, let's go.
It's
go.
And Sam, like employees get comfortable with the
Mhm.
fact that, hey, there's just going to be another call. Why do I need to follow up?
Yeah.
So you're just going to spend more money to get me more calls. So I don't need to follow up. They'll just be more. They'll just be
Ooh.
more. And
Mm.
a lot of business
You're
owners
hitting
are
on a
thinking
hot
that
button
way.
for me. Ooh, we can go down this rabbit trail
Let's
because
go.
I'll tell you,
Go.
working in some different trades, I spent 3 years in solar. You talk to anybody that's a realtor, anybody that's in another industry, mortgage broker, insurance, anywhere else. And we were like, okay, where's the leads? They're like, what leads? What are you talking about? So
Sort
what
your own.
happened is, and rewind back 40, 50 years,
Yeah.
there was no internet. Leads
Nope.
didn't just come. So one of the things that we're really super going deep in right now is, especially, and you were talking about the cost of leads. That's not the true cost, because we start talking about the cost of new client acquisition. It's multiplied that, because say you buy 10 leads at $300 a piece, you're not converting all of them. Take your entire cost and divide that by the number of actual new clients that you actually get.
Means you're giving away free jobs.
Yeah.
Means the next job was on the house.
100%.
Regardless of what revenue you brought in, if you had to buy the lead, paid ads, and then you multiply it times your closing ratio, the next job you did close was on the house.
All you did was pay for the ones you got in. And so the way that we're really going about it right now is and it's what we see, and I'm sure you see this too, the companies that are really crushing it across the country, they basically had this mental switch of, if the internet didn't exist, how would I promote my business? How would I go to market? And then they're supplementing with digital's necessary, but it's not making it the main driver. You start to overlay all of these methods. And then when you start to stack them together, that's where you start to be able to multiply. So that's why I've got a really robust door-to-door canvassing team, program that I have for companies. It's like, that is the highest ROI that you can possibly get in any effort. But so what happened is, our industry in the last 20 years with the internet, it created lead babies. We have that's what we call it, lead babies. If it's gonna probably make some people mad, but this is it. If we just get more leads, we're okay. Well, let's move on to the next and next. And well, what happens when that runs out? What happens if that dries up? I'm sure all the owners listening are not very happy to know that all of their sales guys say, oh, it's fine, I don't care that I lost that one, I'll just sell the next one. What? We paid thousands for you to knock on that door.
Oh my gosh. When I hear somebody say, I've got technicians sitting on their butt in the conference room, I'm like, why the hell are they sitting on their butt in the conference room? What do you mean they're sitting there and you're paying? Like, I have to send them home. Send them to somebody else's home.
Yes, 100%. Oh my gosh. So here's low-hanging fruit, everybody. The most highest value thing you can do is, every single appointment that's run, every install, every appointment that you're at, you got to introduce yourself to the neighbors. Meet the neighbors. It's not hard. The conversation's easy. Here, never give out just one business card, always two. Hand them knock on the door, hand the business cards out and say, hey, I'm not here to sell you anything. I just wanted to introduce ourselves to you. We're going to be doing work in your neighborhood. Do the if anything blows into your yard method. Hey, we value our community. We want to leave it cleaner than we found it. If anything blows into your yard, or guys park in the wrong spot, please let me know. We will immediately take care of that for you. And then what happens? The next question is, oh, well, what are you doing over there? Oh, well, they had a room that don't say, oh, we're changing their water heater, we're changing their heating and air. No, you say, they had a room that was the wrong temperature, we're fixing it for them. Or, boy, their bills were really high, we're going to drop it by 20 or 30%, or whatever the benefit is.
Yes.
And they'll say, well, can you look at mine? I've got that same problem. Happens all day long.
I want to fix something really quick for everybody that's listening. Okay. So bucket these into, so you have marketing and branding. Okay. And you have advertising. One is, so whenever, I think we use the words a little too mushy in the middle. So, or we use the word digital, which is even worse.
Oh,
Okay.
and let me help you out here and give you a third bucket, because there's marketing, there's advertising. What I'm talking about is prospecting, which is something totally
Yeah.
different.
Yes. So your two highest revenue activities are on the left. That is prospecting, boots on the ground, right? Shaking babies, or not, don't shake babies. Shake hands and kiss babies? Was
There you
that
go.
it? Don't shake
There you
babies.
go, Jen.
Yeah, prospecting is looking for the most likely buyer right now. There's a good
Yes.
definition for it.
And marketing is putting in tangible physical assets that have compounding interest impacts on your business over time, that you own. So
Yes.
I'll put that over there. Advertising is playing blackjack. I'm going to throw down some bones. I'm going to hope I leave the table with more than I spent.
Yep.
That's the highest acquisition cost. You don't own it. When you run out of money or pause the campaign, you're the same company you were when you started. Lowest closing rate, biggest discount shoppers, lowest average ticket. That is the worst. And it doesn't exist on an AI search. There are no paid ads. There's no LSA. You can't buy leads. The aggregators aren't showing up right. So advertising, when we're talking about that, put that over there and take that. Your money is in your market, and your market is on the ground and getting in front of them organically. Organic search, SEO, search everywhere optimization, not search engine optimization, right? If you combine those two things, your average cost per customer after 2 consecutive years will likely be about $30.
Yep.
Digital, online and offline, about $30 to acquire a new customer. Higher closing rate, higher average ticket. They spend more and they don't ask how much it is and what the first discount is every time. It's a more educated customer.
100%. And they're warmer. They already have established the trust. They see your brand. They know you already. They like you. They trust you to a degree. Now you just get there and own the rest of it.
You know, the funny part is my pool guy, he was a knocker. I didn't look for him. I'm thinking about if I was to look at all of my tradespeople that I have in here, one I found on, because they have to manage this house while I'm gone. One I found organic search. The rest of them were a door knocker or a referral.
Well, if you look at it like this,
They were serving a neighbor's house.
Yeah.
You talk about the lead babies, right? Okay. You look at the owners, and all of them are putting tons of money in digital marketing. Now, if you look, there's tons of these funny videos and TikToks and Facebook and Instagrams and all that. They're not setting themselves apart. No wonder the guys that are knocking at the door are winning, because nobody else is doing it.
Yeah. If it was easy, everybody would do it.
I'm not saying you don't have to have a digital marketing campaign. I'm not saying you don't have to do the funny videos in Instagram and all that stuff. Yes, you have to have some of that. But do something else that others aren't willing to do.
Yep.
And let's face it, why are there's a company doing over $32 million a year in water heaters and softeners door to door. Why are they having success, and why hasn't door to door went away?
The solar company I was with in 8 years, strictly through this method, sold, get these numbers, this is with a B, $1.3 billion in 8 years. This is how window companies scaled to 100 million in 5 years.
Just make sure that when they go look you up, you don't look like a DIY project.
100%.
Scary. So I would
the back end has to support it.
Yeah, I would make sure that you can get definitely grassroots, guerrilla style, 100%. And make sure that the second they search for you, it's wildly easy to find you.
Yep.
And you look like the best of the best of the best when they get there.
It's exactly why when you start to combine these things, now it just explodes. It's way more than 1 + 1. It's not 2, it's 11.
Oh, yeah. And if you think about it, there's another piece to that. That's part of the future proofing your business is it's not that they're going to necessarily just go to Google and do a search. They're going to walk away with your card and go, hey, Siri, tell me a little bit about blah, blah, blah. And it's going to be connected to ChatGPT, and it's going to analyze everything about your company. So content, distributed content in the right formats and in the right places matters a lot, because it's not going to be just a traditional search. So Google, important, but future-proof means AI. That's first.
Well, that's it. I mean, what right now was it Chrome's being forced to be sold off, and who's the most likely buyer? ChatGPT.
Of course.
I mean, geez. So yes, AI-driven searches, it's taking over everywhere.
Yes. And that's without hardware integration. It's not natural yet. Just wait until your phone and your Alexa and your Google Home and your Meta glasses has a native AI integration. That's when you're going to see shit really change. Excuse my French,
100%.
but
we're approaching singularity, but that's a whole nother conversation.
Oh yeah, I like that. You already know.
I do. This, I think this is why with Close It Now we've made such a big splash in the last couple of years, and really I'm never going to be the guy that trains the same thing 15, 20 years from now. This current systems and our sales system is fire. We have insane numbers. There's guys that go from $9,000 average ticket to $16,000 and stay there. Guys that go from 40% close rate to 60% close rate and stay there. It's not a bump. But at the same time, 2, 3, 5 years from now, it's not going to be the same system. We have to constantly keep our finger on the pulse of how people buy. And that's where the psychology side of what we do is so much more important than, where my heart has been lately is, people call us because something's wrong typically. And so when we show up, all the data right now is looking in the rearview mirror of, hey, what are all the top performers doing? Well, they speak at, 1.3% faster than everybody else, et cetera, et cetera. We have all this data from the rearview mirror. That's only measuring how things were done in the past up till now. Yes, they're best practices, but also there's a huge movement right now. And the new homeowners are 40 and under. And what's happening is when we show up in presence, in quiet, calm certainty, and we become that calm in their chaos, now we ground them into the ability to make a decision in a safe, trusted, comfortable environment, because we've set the container that allows the yeses to show up, so we don't have to chase them anymore.
Yep. Trust. You nailed it.
Yep. 100%.
Yeah. And I think, and I like the fact that you're focused on future-proofing your business. You're looking forward. There's way too much in this industry that is based on what worked 20 years ago, 30 years ago. I don't even know why we're still talking about that. Like, stop. I'd rather have someone sitting over and investing in future-proofing their business, predicting the future, watching consumer trends, watching buying habits move, start looking at the next generation and understanding their preferences, and the fact that you're focused on that, breaking it down and providing systems that people can implement, execute, follow, measure, and hold other people accountable for is commendable. Definitely. I love that.
Thank you. Yeah. It's the only way to truly grow, well, more importantly, the mission. So this is a quick tangent, but what's happening in our industries right now, it's become there's some big platforms out there that are absolutely they're shredding the home services right now. And the eye of the government has started to turn that microscope, and we've got literally a year or two to fix it. So my goal is to raise the standard of our industry, because the second federal regulations come in and start to put regulations on an industry, it will absolutely cripple it. I've seen it happen across the board in other industries, and we do not want that in home services. So my mission is to raise the standard of integrity, of let's bring trust back to the trades. Let's do things the right way, even if it costs us something. It doesn't matter, because that's the only way we're going to be able to save our industry in this specific time and place right now. So I'm really on this soapbox lately, because it's happening. There's talks of class action lawsuits right now. In our industry,
Department of
there's some big players happening. That's gross, and we've got to fix it.
big Department of Commerce moves I've seen in the last year that I have not seen ever in 25 years, where they're looking at everyone, Sam. It used to be if you were over a certain amount of employees. Now they're even looking at the one guy in a truck.
Yeah.
Which is exactly what you're saying. It's proof.
I think we're going to see the number of, news crew sting operations to service calls this year is going to be way more than we've ever seen.
And everybody gets on and they stand up on their soapbox. Oh, those guys, I knew they were ripped, but they don't realize that it's bad for the entire industry.
Yep.
That report just knocked you down in your sales process when you go into the home.
Absolutely. It gives everyone a black eye.
Yep.
100% agree.
So that's my hot point right now. Let's fix the trades while we can.
For us, Sam.
Yeah, that's real. I was just sitting and building a business plan with this guy's sold multiple home service companies, and he's back at it again. And we were designing what his business model looked like. And I think this is interesting because he's contacting us because we like leaning into the future. But this is what the one-liner was. He said, I want to deliver with the intelligence of Tesla, the simplicity of Apple, and the convenience of Uber.
Yep.
And just throw that into ChatGPT and you got a business plan.
It was big because he wants to essentially fundamentally change the way he wants to leverage technology and automation to its maximum capacity so that the only thing he has to focus on is the human beings providing an exceptionally different experience. He doesn't want any of the mess in the middle. And I thought I'm impressed. I'm happy. He was like, I don't want to do it like anybody else in this industry. I'm gonna knock it out of the park.
Word.
I love it.
I know.
Sam, it was great to meet you. I know we're wrapping up here in a few minutes, but it was great to meet you. I love the conversation. I know we could talk for way longer than this, but
sure, we just scratched the surface.
I'm excited. I got to meet two incredible guests today that I did not know before today. So thank you.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Sam, you're doing amazing things, man. Anything else you want to leave people with or hint to what we would talk about on the next podcast we have you back?
Yeah, there's so much we can cover. One of the things we definitely will be talking about is a lot more of the how to overlay digital with grassroots. That's what's winning right now, is like that combination. And when you stack it intentionally, we have to stop going to business by chance. We have to be so very intentional with every single thing that we do, and when we start doing that intentionally, that's a powerful combination. And the other thing I've got going on, I've started a book club. So in the same vein, I started a book club, relaunched the book club. So I've got the Close It Now book club, which is for everyone in home services. And it's not there will never be a pitch. It's just a matter of let's raise the standard of the industry. So they can join my Facebook group to get the events for that. So if everybody wants to join the Facebook group, we'll let you know about that. I am doing twice a month in my Zoom room. We do free open role play sessions. So if people don't have the ability to practice, come practice with me. We'll get you there to the next level. There's no entry fee, nothing like that. I just want to help people. And then the other thing I'm doing, I'm launching a mastermind. This is not sales training. This is a movement. And in order to do that, we have to create a culture around bettering the industry. So I'm rolling out, it's not ready quite yet, but I'm rolling out a mastermind that will be specifically for that.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. Man. You're doing amazing things. To everybody that's listening, I just hope, as you wake up and you go to work tomorrow, just remember everybody needs to come to the table with more than an appetite. When all parties show up, suit up, and participate, that's where the magic happens. It's not what are they doing, but what are we doing? How is everybody contributing? Yeah. Right? You guys definitely, take advantage of it. Sam, how do they reach you? You said Facebook. What else?
Yeah, so my email, sam@closeitnow.net, and go to the website at closeitnow.net, which is in the middle of a renovation. We're Jennifer, you're building the new website. It's not quite ready yet, but I'm sure it will be soon. And of course, Facebook. Join Instagram is at the real Close It Now, and then search me on Facebook. Just search Close It Now. That Facebook group will pop right up. It's the consistent branding on every platform.
Sweet.
Love it.
For everybody. Yeah. For everybody that took time out of your busy schedule to work on your business and not in your business, here with us at the Catalyst of the Trades. We greatly appreciate your time today. Take time, leave a message, share it with a friend, comment, and we will see you on the next one. Thank you so much.
See you guys.